On this episode, I have an H-Town style throwdown with my guy Len. Big Len, as I know him, has always been big. A big guy with big dreams, big personality, big pimpin'. But every OG gets older and he realized big wasn't always best. So he lost weight, he raised his daughter, he settled down, and he became Big Balanced Len. We also talk about when you make assumptions, you should admit that you're wrong and apologize. Let's jump in. Hey, everybody. Welcome to a moderately good podcast. You were here with me, Scotty, once again. There's no substitution so far. And before I get started on this, we'll do a couple shout outs. Shout out to my camera guy, does all my lighting and all that good stuff. Above Average Joe Pro. Above Average Joe Pro. Above Average Joe. Sorry, changing Instagram. Anyways, you'll find him. It's easy. It's on my page. Just look on there. It's not a big deal. But anyway, so he does all my lighting, all the pictures, all the cool pictures you see of me, all the cool videos. He's doing that all for me. So go check his stuff out. Check out my boy, Jaron. It's at No Names Originals. It's a clothing line. He does custom bleaching and stuff like that. Really cool stuff. And then last but not least, my guy, Mo. He's got the Go Bubble app, and that's Go Bubble _app. It's a detailing service to you. Now, when was the first time that somebody called you Big Len?
That's a great question, bro. The first time I ever was referred to as Big Len had to have been high school.
Okay.
I had two nicknames in high school.
Okay.
Everyone knew me as Leonard.
Well, by the way, guys, this is Leonard.
Leonard. Yep.
And you know how many days old I was when I knew that your name was Leonard?
One.
Like
today.
Like,
right.
because I just always knew you as Len, but we just called you Len or Big Len.
Right. Exactly.
I mean,
Yeah. No, I get it. And most people that know me as Len.
Right.
My government name, very few people are privy to that. But
well, I mean, now all 14 people that listen are gonna know.
It's all good. Hey, shout out to all 14 of those. We're family now. No, man. My father's name was Len Rouse, and I'm actually not a junior, but I'm actually the second. I'm Leonard Herman Rouse the second.
That's cool.
And my father was a military guy, and in high school, people that knew me as Leonard, but all my friends used to call me Big L.
Okay.
So for the longest time, my best friend, and all the guys that knew me on the football team used to call me Big L. And then over time, as the years went on throughout high school, it kind of evolved into Big Len. So this high school was probably the first time somebody referred to me as Big Len, and it's stuck with me ever since.
So did you grow up around here?
Actually, I'm a military brat, man. So my dad, I was born in Fort Bragg in North Carolina. My father was a sergeant major in the Army. We moved around a little bit when I was a kid. I've lived in Alaska, Seattle, Germany, a couple of different places, but he settled primarily down in Killeen, Texas.
Okay.
And that's where I, my first year of my last year of middle school and then high school went on, and that's actually where I went to high school. So I've been in Texas for quite some time.
Well, here's where I'm going with this. So that you were called Big Len in high school.
Yep.
Right. And you went to high school where?
Killeen High.
Killeen High.
Kangaroos, shout out.
Shout out to Killeen High Kangaroos.
Yep.
Weird name. I didn't even know that was their name.
State champs, baby. We used to rock.
What kind of kangaroo they put on the side of the helmet?
It's the maroon and white were our colors, and the kangaroo had gloves on.
Oh yeah, of course he did.
Of course he did, because it wasn't gonna be like the lame ass kangaroo. So yeah. But yeah, we
ain't got no time for lame ass kangaroos.
Right, and we were also, the nickname was the Roo Dogs. They used to call us the Roo Dogs.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's a little bit, we try to spice it up a little bit, make it a little bit,
so
a little tougher than what it looked like, what it sounded like when you say kangaroo.
So here's where I'm getting to. When I met you in Austin,
yeah,
we both worked at 24 Hour Fitness.
Yep.
I mean, and I don't know. I don't know if I ever knew you as. I mean, you were introduced to me, I think, as Big Len. So did you carry that? You brought that up here? Like, what did you introduce yourself as Big Len? Not that that's a bad thing.
No, actually, no.
But just you were a big guy.
I was a big guy, and naturally, I referred to myself when I would introduce myself to people as an adult. I would say my name was Len. I would never say my name was Leonard.
Yeah.
My father also referred to himself as Len. So my sister, for example, she used to call me Little Len, right?
But then you got big.
But then I got big. But you know, I actually didn't.
Man, don't you know the rap game rules? You can't be changing your name.
You can't go from little to big. I got to stick with one or the other.
And you like it'd be how ironic would it be if you were
Lil
big?
Wayne became Big Wayne.
Yeah. Well, I
although
mean,
he's big.
I was more referencing that like you got big and then your name was still like Little Len.
Right.
Like
that's an oxymoron. And it doesn't make any sense.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. No, I actually never referred to myself as Big Len. People just naturally,
that's what I'm getting
it was
at.
the natural tendency because I was a bigger stature dude, and it just came across, hey, Big Len. So people would see me and know my name was Len, and then they see that I was big, and then there it is. So that kind of just carries pretty much wherever I go. Even to this day, people still refer to me as Big Len.
Well, it's just like I think. Well, okay. I think if you were a douchebag, no one would refer to you as Big Len. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like you rock that personality. Like you are Big Len. Like that's like in my phone. In my phone it says Big Len. Like you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just like right. Like Kanye is Ye or whatever now.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's cool. When people have like, mine's stupid because somehow. So one of my friends used to. Well, so Scotty is a name my grandmother gave me.
Right.
Right. But a lot of my friends will call me Scotty Super G, right?
Okay.
Which is it's an email and it's my Xbox stuff or whatever.
Okay.
But
I don't know that guy.
No, but I mean, like a lot of my close friends will call me that.
Okay.
Like shout out to the guys that call me Scotty Super G.
Yeah.
And it's just that's not cool. Like I mean, hey, but what's your name on the Xbox? Is it Big Len?
Did you
get Big Len?
I take that back. No, it's not. My handle on Xbox is Rollin' Thunder.
Oh yeah, right. So why is it Rolling Thunder?
I was trying to think of something clever and to put Len in it, and that
that's awesome.
Rolling Thunder was the closest thing I could come up with. Yeah. So
that's cool.
Yeah, that was really all there is to it.
Man, I'm gonna do a whole thing just asking people about their Xbox names.
What's your handle on Xbox?
Hey, so what have you been doing? Where are you working at now?
I'm at Gold's Gym.
Okay, but which one?
I office out of Cedar Park. So I'm an area director.
Oh, god dang.
Yeah, I'm an area director, but I office out of Cedar Park.
Moving on up.
Well, hey, man, it's been a long time. I've been doing this a long time.
Because you've been in that business. How long you been in the fitness business?
This year makes 21, almost 22 years, man.
So do me like a quick, I don't know, maybe like 2 or 3 minutes on what the pandemic was like for you with the gym industry. Just go through that. I mean, I know we could probably talk about it for a while.
No,
but
I
don't want to dwell on it. You know what I mean? But I'm curious about like what that was like.
Man,
for you.
It just like every other business out there, man, it was tough. We at the organization, we shut down for a couple of months because of the pandemic. You know, when it first hit, you know, we started with, I was actually and I still am, but I was actually the media sponsor or the media rep for when everything started going down. They were coming to us, and your local news was asking, like, how are we keeping gyms safe for people to come and use the gym, so forth and so on. So I was actually on local news explaining what we were doing to try to keep everybody safe.
Was that really quickly? Was that a tough position to be in? Like,
it was different, but I don't think it was tough. It was just more so me explaining what we were trying to do as a company to make sure that our members felt safe when they walked in our facilities. Okay. But to be honest with you, when we found out we were shutting down, it was a little bit unnerving, man, because at that time, all of our employees company-wide became furloughed. Everyone basically lost their job, and there was a lot of uncertainty. We weren't sure if we were ever going to open back up. I mean, who knew what was going to happen?
Yeah.
During that time frame, I was blessed and lucky enough to actually get promoted to a district/area director.
Somebody quit?
No, It was
No,
just
I mean, and I didn't mean that in a mean way. I
No, no,
meant
no,
more
no.
because of pandemic.
no. What
Did
happened
somebody
was
somebody's like, I'm out.
no,
You know?
actually, the guy who was my boss, actually took another role with another company where he had an opportunity to kind of make a better move for himself.
Oh, okay.
And during that time frame,
So it wasn't because of
no,
pandemic.
it had nothing to do with the pandemic. It was actually that happened before the pandemic
Oh, really?
actually hit, and that position hadn't been filled. And for the longest time, I didn't even know if I was going to be able to apply for it. I got the opportunity. I applied for it right when I was finishing the process. The pandemic hit, and it was really literally down to myself and another candidate, and I had no clue what was going to happen because at that time we didn't have a job.
Right.
So there's no way in hell I'm thinking somebody's going to call me. I'm in my garage doing a workout, and I get a phone call from my boss that says, "Hey man, are you available to talk?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Hey, I just want to let you know, I know things have been tough." And I'm thinking I'm about to get let go, like literally like let go. I assumed the worst. And he was like, "Well, I've got our HR representative on the phone." So yeah, now I'm really on edge. And he's like, "I just want to congratulate you because you're the new area district manager for Gold's Gym,
You feel
Austin
like he
North."
did that on purpose?
I think he was fucking with me. Yes, I do. I think he was messing with me. Not
What-
a cruel joke, but
what-
you know what? But he and I have that kind of relationship. He's a cool cat. I've known him for a long time. I've been with the company for a long time.
Well, look,
So,
that's what they do to those Hall of Fame guys.
yeah,
Those football
they
Hall of
mess
Fame.
with him. They mess with him.
That's
So
bullshit. They make them stay in a hotel and then they
Yeah.
have to wait by the door. What kind of shit is that, man?
yeah.
That's not cool.
And so we were shut down for a little while. When we got the news that we're going to be able to open back up, obviously safety was the most important thing we could think of for our members to come back. So they took all kinds of precautions, hiring third-party cleaners to clean the clubs at night after we were done, making sure we had cleaning routines. At one point, we even shut the gyms down in the middle of the day to do a deep clean. So
That's
we would
crazy,
shut
right?
between 1 and 2 o'clock and do a deep clean of the gym so that the next wave of people coming in could come in and use the gym. So it was crazy, man. It was really wild. I actually, in a full disclosure, I had COVID. And me, my daughter, like my family, we had it at that time. Not
Yeah,
at that
you-
time, but
you-
we ended up getting it.
You got OG COVID?
I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Version 1.
Yeah. I had OG COVID.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it was
That's
no,
what I call it.
you're right. It was no fun, man. It was
Yeah.
no fun. I was out for about 17 days, fever, sweats, the whole nine, lost the smell and taste, everything. But everything came back, and it was literally like day 17, man. I woke up and was like, man, I feel much better, and then
Yeah.
it's been cool ever since. And but yeah, it's been a hard road, and we lost a ton of members, and our business took a hit. During that time frame, Gold's actually, it's public knowledge. We filed for bankruptcy.
Mhm. A lot of gyms.
A lot of Gym24. A
Yeah,
lot of people did.
yeah.
We were purchased by a company out of Germany called RSG during that time frame, who now owns us. And
Is anything any different?
oh yeah, definitely.
Like in
So
a good way, bad way?
I think
I mean-
I think in a good way. Initially, we weren't so sure because
But I mean, that's kind of they're taking over a brand that's like, kind of like, I don't know. Am I wrong to say like Gold Gym is kind of like America's?
oh, it's
like,
iconic.
Yeah, it's
It's
iconic.
the most iconic. It's the most iconic fitness brand in the world.
Right, it has to be,
There's
right?
no- it's not even a question.
Okay.
And
So this place out of Germany bought it.
the owner of RSG was a big Arnold fan. Loved Venice. He was a bodybuilder back
No
in the
way.
day, and it was his dream to own Golds. And when we came up for sale, he went in and bid and got us. And
But that feels like a pretty good scenario.
it does until
Did they not understand the business
no,
over here?
they knew the business, but what they did was, and it's like this with any kind of acquisition or merger, right? They come in, they assess the business,
Mhm.
they look at the financials, and they say, wow, you guys have way too many managers. And then they cut all of us. Like
Really?
42 of us got cut. So not only did I get furloughed, I got promoted, but then I got cut.
Wow.
All within a 4-month time frame, bro. And I was blessed and lucky enough that my boss went to the bat for me and got me back on and got me back in my position.
He feels like it's free reign for him to fuck with you now.
Well, no, I think he feels like if I hadn't have been there, that his job would have been 10 times harder. So
Sure.
he knows that I make his life easier.
Oh yeah, I'm just kidding.
But yeah, no, he definitely, I'm like I said, I'm blessed and lucky And there are a lot of people out there that aren't. So, I think my lucky stars. I'm very humbled to be able to be still doing what I'm doing and what I love to do. What you've known me, that was from the moment you've known me. I've been in fitness, like I said, 20 plus years. And
Okay, and let me give you a quick compliment. I don't know a time where you looked as good as you look now,
thank you.
bro. Like you,
I
like I mean,
appreciate that.
I saw like a picture. I don't know what it was. Maybe like I don't know some sort of beach picture or something like that. And I was like, did he superimpose like his head on somebody else's body? I was like, man. And then I saw like there was like a different pictures at different times, and
Yeah.
I was like, man, I was just really so. Is I don't is how recent? How long have you been? How recent is this? Like,
This
did you
is-
really like you start taking because you're obviously taking it super serious
Yeah,
now.
absolutely.
Yeah.
You're right, man. I was always kind of heavier set, bigger guy.
I mean, but you play football.
I played football and
Yeah,
I was a lifter and all that
yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
man. But as far as being lean and healthy, I'll tell you, I had knee surgery about 3.5 years ago, and it was a big eye opener.
So, quick question: is that like because of football for any reason, or just lifting, or what?
No, the knee surgery was because I was doing something athletic. I tore my meniscus playing basketball and lifting at the gym, and didn't realize how bad it was,
And
and
then
then
kinda kept doing
it kept
stuff?
going, and then it got real bad.
Okay.
And
Anyways,
then eventually the surgeon took a look, or actually had an MRI, and they were like, "Oh yeah, your knee's jacked." So they went in there, ripped out my meniscus, told me I had the knee of a 75-year-old.
dang.
They literally were like, "You're gonna need knee replacement. You're not even a candidate for like stem cell to kind of re-repair your meniscus." So I have bone on bone in my left knee, and they're like, "At this point, you got two choices. You either can have knee replacement in the next 6 months, or you can have knee replacement in the next 15 years. It's up to you. So change the way you lift, change the way your body type, be healthier, and it will, the lighter you are, it's going to take a lot of pressure off that knee." So that literally was my wake up call. So it's been about 2.5, 3 years since I got kind of serious, and I was actually training to potentially do like a physique or bodybuilding show. And that's what really kicked it into high gear, because I was all on the weight loss tip. And then I was like, well, a friend of mine was like, "Well, you're losing all this weight. You're a big dude. You might look like something underneath there." And I had
Yeah.
no clue. So I started training as if, and man, got in some of the best shape I've been in maybe ever, even
I
throughout
mean, that
football.
would be my vote.
Like I cannot recall a time where I looked the way that I do now. And literally a year ago, or less than a year ago, I was probably lighter than I was in high school, which was kind of crazy.
Yeah. And you said you were 44?
I'm about to be 44.
Fixing to be
April 1st, I'll be 44.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you think at like 44 you'd be in the best shape of your life?
No, I
Right?
didn't.
No, I didn't either.
No, I didn't.
Like I really feel like I'm probably in the
Oh,
best.
you look great.
and
You look great.
No, but not in a
And
way.
I know you're not fishing for compliments, but
No,
you
no,
do.
no.
You look great.
No, but in the way of like I feel like my body's healthy overall.
Yes.
Like, all the dumb stuff we did, like
Yeah.
when I was younger and the
Yeah.
lifts and things like that. Like
Yeah.
I've just gotten so much smarter. And this really, it's that Tom Brady kind of mindset, right? And like, it's a lot easier on my body to be like this.
I agree 1,000%.
But like,
man.
it put me into best shape of my life.
I
That did.
1,000% agree with you, man. Like being in better shape at an older age, or at the age that I'm at now, I just feel better. My joints are thanking me. I'm wearing clothes that I didn't think I'd be able to wear, which is
Yeah.
kind of cool. It's a different world, man. But there are a lot of people out there with weight loss journeys, and having gone through one myself and just transforming the way that I look has been quite the journey. And I'm not done. Like I want to continue, getting fit and being healthier. And I want to be there. Like I said, we haven't talked about it, but my daughter is 18 years old and in college, and I started thinking about her and started thinking about, man, she's an adult, and at some point she'll probably be married, and maybe I'll have grandkids. I'm like, I don't want to be that guy that can't run around and play with his grandchildren or go on a trip. I was blessed, like side note, I was blessed to go on a super awesome trip in Europe. And what was crazy is you see all these people cruising in on these giant cruise liners and all that stuff. And, we were at the time in Greece, in Santorini. And we were at the bottom of this like kind of mountain or whatever. You had to walk all the way to the top because we were going to watch the sunset, all the people. And it was crazy to me how many people that were a little bit more mature in age that were so unhealthy that they couldn't make it up like one flight of stairs
Wild, right?
without like keeling over and like, oh, I can't breathe. There's no way I'm gonna make it. I gotta ride this donkey all the way up this hill. And I was like, I don't want that to be me, man. I want to enjoy life on this back half. I don't want to be somebody that just can go on a trip and not enjoy it. That like just doesn't make any sense.
Hey, you want me to give you some real motivation?
What?
Have a baby. In the next 2 years, have a baby, and then call me, and go, hey, how limited do I need to be?
Hey,
like,
look.
I mean, because I got it. Well, I'll take her to the park. When I take her to the park,
Yeah.
I just kind of let her wander around. I just let her explore.
Right.
But sometimes like you'll kind of be standing there, and she just starts sprinting. And like she's sprinting right towards a kid, like on a swing, you know what I mean? So you're like trying to dive and roll and get her and not get hit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's a stage I'm at. We were talking a little bit before we got started, and you were talking about, and we don't have to talk about this necessarily, but we could talk about your point of view that that your daughter's like, I mean, she's in her first semester at college.
Yeah.
And it's just like been real kind of tough on her.
It's
or tough on you.
Tough on. Probably more tough on me than her.
Well, let's talk about like why it's tough on you. So
yeah.
Well, really quickly, do you have any quick dad advice for me? Because you only have your daughter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and she's 18, right? 18. Okay, so you've already done. I'm at 1.
Yep.
I'm starting, and you've already done the full marathon. You've already done a full marathon.
Look,
like you're resting on the side, waiting for me to show up.
Well, I'm just yes, I'm waiting for you. I'm cheering you on.
So what kind of dad advice you got for me for having a girl?
Man, having a daughter and being a dad, it's a different perspective, man. And everybody says it, man. Dads are super protective of their daughters and all this other jazz, which I was. But at the end of the day, I always told her and tried to teach her how I thought when I was her age. I tried to give her a male's perspective.
Yes,
I wanted her to understand that,
Did she believe you?
She did. It took time. It took time because her story is a tough one, man. I got custody of her when she was 14. And she lived with me, and it was a challenge. But at the same time, I always tried to just be honest with her about life. Be honest with her about what people's intentions are in this world, and that this world owes her nothing. A lot of kids today, and I don't mean this any kind of way, but a lot of kids that I see feel entitled. And I don't like that at all. And I never want my daughter to feel like the world owes her anything. She has to work for everything that she gets. She's an African-American woman in a world that wants to see her fail. Mm-hmm. And I told her that you got to go earn it from top to bottom and don't let anything stand in your way. And when it comes to like boys and all that, I try to always just be honest with her about what we think, what we're thinking with.
Hey, look, I've told a lot of people this. All the secrets I know, sorry, boys. They're getting out.
They're gonna get it.
I'm gonna tell her.
They're gonna get the game. She's gonna have the game, and she does.
I'm an undercover spy or something now.
Hey,
like you done fucked up. Like I know the game, and so I'm gonna tell her. Like now, why I was interested if your daughter listened to you, because I think it's totally natural for she's like, Dad, this boy. You're like, that boy is trying to do blank or whatever, and she's like, no, he's not. And he's like, yeah, look, I know he is. And so I'm sure there was a couple of those, and so
believe it or not, very very rare in high school because she was. I had her pretty focused on school and kind of dedicated to that. I mean, she barely had a boyfriend. She'll probably kill me if she ever sees this, but I actually know for a fact that she made it through high school a virgin, which is what was my goal. I
have to bleep that out.
You may have to because she may kill me.
You just told the whole 14 people.
But you know what? She knows that I'm proud of that.
Yeah,
and she's proud of that. Now,
you know what?
I'm not saying that's the case now.
No,
after this first semester of college.
Look, all I'm gonna say is that she made a promise to herself to like, hey, I want to get out of high school. I want to get to this point and be this what, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And that just doing that act teaches a lot of discipline. You know what I mean? So it doesn't, and especially in this world we're in now where it's anything and everything, it's like, she stood for something in that moment. And that's great.
Without question. And the other thing that I'll tell you, man, is as you're preaching to her and you're teaching her, make sure that you let her know that it's okay to come and talk to you about anything. Yeah. Don't make anything too taboo. Like she can come talk to you about, I don't care how awkward it makes you feel.
Oh, I don't get awkward about shit.
Right. Let her tell you, because my daughter told me some stuff that I never thought I'd hear. And it's because I kept that open line of communication with her. And I used to tell her, back in the day, they used to make a running joke with her about, they used to have the WWJD, like what would Jesus do? Bracelets. And I said, when you go to college, I want to get one for you that says WWDT. What would dad think? And I was like, if you remember 10% of the shit that I tell you, of me constantly shoving information and game down your throat, at the end of the day, if you retain 10% of it, you're going to be a decent human being.
Right.
Right? Because as fathers, we're usually overprotective and we try to shove it all in, which is what I did. But I told her, I said, just try to retain some of it. And I said, when you're alone and you're a grown up and you catch yourself in a situation, ask yourself, because you're going to mess up. I told her, I said, you're human.
Nobody's perfect.
Nobody's perfect. I said, you're going to mess up, but ask yourself before you get in certain situations, man, if my dad found out about that, how would he feel? If I had to tell my dad that, what would he think? And if I approve of it or would be okay, go for it. If it's something that's in between, you're not sure what I would say, I said, reach out and call me and I'll tell you. And I said, if it's a no, then don't do it. But she still has to learn for herself. Right. Right. And she knows that I'm always, exactly.
Hey, Dad, that ain't going to work 100% of the time.
Without question. Yeah. Fellas, never going to work 100% of the time. But once again, it's just planting that seed, something to make her pause for just a second. So hopefully throughout her college career, she'll do that. And just the fact that she's communicating with me about certain things is just a huge plus. And I'm super proud of her. And I think you're going to be an awesome dad, because you remind me of the same type of spirit. You're open and you can talk about anything, and you're funny. And I think, most women love that, and daughters are no different.
Well, it's kind of one of those things. It's just, I have no ego. Like I don't have any problem admitting when I'm wrong or I'm sorry. And I try to make the best judgments I can. Yeah. I talk to people about what their feelings are on situations and try to understand where they're coming from. Yeah. And I, just being like open-minded to, this is what I would say. And this is what I think you're doing. You have two choices. You can have no communication, or you can have an open line of communication that maybe you don't like or doesn't sit well with you. Right. But that's you. That's on you.
Precisely.
So if you want to be there for your kids, and that, there's a fine line between enabling and empathy. Right. Right. But you got to constantly check and make sure you're on the right side of where you need to be. Yeah. Because you don't want to enable your kid either.
Without question.
And it's a balance, and you'll probably mess it up. So just get some therapy.
And there's no, you can read all the books you want about being a father, man, but there's nothing in the world that can prepare you for the situations that you're gonna be faced with. And
you're just trying to scare me now?
No, because every guy is different. Yeah. Every scenario is different. Just being willing to be there no matter what.
I just want to be real. Yeah. Like, yeah. My I have cursed in front of my daughter. Right. But when I've cursed in front of my daughter, and my mom's here, hey mom, she gets upset. I mean, and rightfully so. Right. But it's not on purpose. And also I'm trying to be better about it, but I also want to be the authentic version of myself. And so and go like, hey, like dad needs to cut that out. That's not good for you to do either. Right. We're all working on that. Like, I'm sorry, I did, and admitting that, like, yeah, I shouldn't do that. Sure. Instead of going like, hey, this is for adults, which is what you want to say. Right. Right.
Nah, that shit's not gonna fly once they get a little bit older, man. They're gonna read right through that.
Shit. All right, so let's talk about your first semester at college with your daughter.
Okay.
So, all right, just whatever. So, how's this first semester been?
It's been different, man. What's crazy is for a little while she was going through some stuff. I don't want to divulge all of her personal information.
No, I don't. Just the general ideas.
Yeah, general ideas.
And from your perspective.
My perspective is she had an opportunity, she's had an opportunity to kind of be out there and essentially, for lack of a better word, be free. Not have the accountability of me watching over her or kind of helping direct her every move or telling her what she should or shouldn't do.
Do you feel like that you were, I don't want to say not overprotective, but do you feel like you didn't expose her enough?
No, I just think I was overprotective.
So you do think you're?
Oh, no doubt about it. And I was very strict with my daughter, given, and there's a lot of backstory to it, which
Sure.
we'd have to go through
Yeah,
4
yeah, yeah.
podcasts to go through
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But there's a lot of backstory that leads me to be that way with
Yeah,
her.
yeah.
So because I was that way with her, I knew that once she got to college, I was going to have to take a step back.
Yeah.
And I did that. And our communication dwindled
Yeah.
immensely. And there were times where I felt like she had a little attitude with me about certain things when I would try to speak to her. And I realized after speaking with her that there were things that I didn't understand were going on.
Yeah.
And when
She's trying to find herself.
she's trying to
without
hide,
you.
and she's trying to figure out who, her name's Ariana. She's trying to figure out who Ariana is. With
Dad.
Not without dad. She's
Yeah.
trying to find herself. And it's one of those things where she's going to have to do that. I can't do that for her, right?
Yeah.
So all I can do is be there to support her and remember that it's not about me. It's not about what I want. It's
Yeah.
about what she's trying to do with her life.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I had to take a step back. And while she was telling me some of the things she was dealing with, while it's been a bumpy road. It hasn't been perfect. It hasn't been like all unicorns and rainbows. Like she's struggled with some of her school. She's struggled with some social situations. She's struggled with people around her with mental health issues. Like it's been a journey.
Well, I mean, she's roughly doing this all. Did she start college during the pandemic or before?
She started college after.
Okay.
And
but she was
in
different.
the midst of.
Yeah.
And for example, like right now they're doing school remotely. They're not even
right.
going to classes.
Well, at the time we're recording this, there. By the time this comes
who
out,
knows?
right. But anyways, yeah.
Right. But she's taking classes remotely. She was used to that in high school. So, hopefully she'll do well with that. Her first semester, she was actually going to class, but just recently with everything that's kind of gone on, who knows what's going to happen. But I think that she's just trying to find her way. The workload's different.
Yeah.
Having more freedom
is different
in between.
Yeah.
There's nobody telling you, hey, get up, go to class. There's nobody telling you, hey, you got to do your homework.
Got to get yourself up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And now she's working. So between juggling, she's becoming an adult. She's understanding what it means to have responsibility, real responsibility.
And it should probably be a little uncomfortable.
Without question.
Yeah.
And I hope that she embraces it, which it sounds like she is. She hasn't asked me for help, not one time. And she's figuring it. She wants to figure it out. And she's that kind of person, very independent.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of her for that. And I know she's going to be successful regardless. So.
Is that kind of, just out of curiosity, is that kind of how you were?
Yeah, actually. I was.
It's funny how that happens, isn't it?
It is. I was kind of like that, because my backstory with my home life was something different. And it put me in a position where I had to grow up a little bit earlier than I really wanted to. I'm sure there's many people out there that have done that. But when I had an opportunity to go to school, I had to figure it out.
Yeah.
And I fell quite a few times and had picked my ass up and keep moving. So, and here we are. So I think she'll be a better human for it. No doubt about it.
I mean, it's growing pains.
Yeah. And she's probably one of anybody that's ever met her, closest friends, people that have just met her will tell you she's probably the sweetest human being on earth, man. So,
you're a sweet guy. Like, I mean that in the best way. I mean, because just like, okay. I think this will be fine. But in working in the fitness business, and especially the gym that I met you at, right? There's a lot of older white people there.
Sure.
Okay. And, history might show the way older white people can kind of be is maybe judgmental, bigoted, or even worse, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, Len had the most of these people like in the palm of his hand. Like, you know what I mean? Like that, like they would come in and talk to you and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think it just spoke to like the person that you were.
Well, thank you.
To break down that's basically a stereotype.
Yeah.
Right. Of all components, I would say.
Without question.
Is that correct?
Absolutely. That's very fair.
Yeah, but you were sweet. I mean, I think what's what attracted them to you.
Thank you.
In my opinion.
No, I try to approach most people from that perspective, man. I try to find the best in everyone.
Well, I mean, you could look for the worst, but why would you want to do that?
Yeah, it doesn't. And plus,
you don't go
in our business. I was the sales guy too. So there's that component. I was the guy that was there to provide and bring business to the table, and I knew that going against the grain wasn't going to get it done.
Yeah.
So I had to find a way to relate and find some sort of common ground with people that didn't necessarily initially anyway see me on the outside and think something. And then once I got to talking to him, we're like, oh, well, this guy's not so bad. Like,
Well,
he's a nice guy.
I've told this before, and I am not on any level saying that I suffered in any way that you probably have. But my small glimpse into it is like being heavily tattooed.
Yeah.
You get judged.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's my small glimpse into it.
No doubt.
In Austin, it doesn't happen as much, but when you go other places where people aren't heavily tattooed, it's like if you go to like Mississippi for some reason, I go to Ole Miss.
Okay.
I mean,
Not a lot of tattooed people at Ole Miss, huh?
No, there's
Really?
it's a lot of white kids.
Oh, okay.
It's a lot of white kids in
Okay.
in khakis and loafers and stuff.
Got it. Fair enough.
We went to a bar at Ole Miss. I went with Pat.
Okay.
Pat that you know.
I love Pat.
Right.
My man. Shout out to Pat.
Shout out to Pat and my and his friend, I think it was Nick. And they're just like blue, like good old boys, just good old white boys, right? And I roll in with like all my tattoos. And I mean, you really would have thought that like, I don't know, like a black guy had walked in. Like, I mean, like it was like, it's like record stop and they're like, and like people kind of wouldn't talk to me and stuff. It was really weird. I went to China and that was weird because I'm tall,
Right,
and I'm white, and I'm heavily tattooed. I took some pictures with some people for some reason. Like they were like, they were like, can we take a picture of you? Like, well, the translator said, can you take a picture? And I was like, yeah, I guess. Like, I don't know why.
Right.
So, anyways, I digress.
I get it.
That's my small glimpse.
No, I got you, and that's just
but that leads me. So I wanted to ask you this.
Yes, sir.
So, you are what is so your dad is black?
My father's passed away when I was 16, but yes, he was African American. Huh?
Okay, and then what was
my mom was white.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but do you have some like do you have any Asian descent?
No.
Oh,
zero.
Well, I thought for some reason you had some sort of Asian descent.
You're not the first nor the last that will think that, but yeah, no.
Or like I was gonna say like Filipino.
No,
that
I
feels
get it
so
all,
rude.
brother.
I apologize about that so much.
No,
That's so rude.
bro. When I say I get it all, I get Puerto Rican, Dominican.
Oh, I can see that.
Samoan.
Now,
Hawaiian.
have you ever used that to your advantage?
No.
Why not?
I don't speak Spanish that well, man.
I mean, you just gotta learn like the main words,
no,
right?
Man, I just like to be me.
Yeah.
I like to be me. The only thing that what's crazy is, and this is funny because especially recently, my girlfriend and I, we go out a lot, right? And we'll be out somewhere, and we'll be hanging out, walking around, and people will see us. And cats will look at me like it's people that I have never met before, and they'll just stare at me. And then we'll frequent the same little spots. And then over time, these cats that are, originally were kind of looking at me, will walk up to me, don't know anything about me, zero, like nothing. And we're like, "What's up, OG? What's up, Triple OG? What's up, OG?" Like I'm somebody. And I attribute it just to me, just when I walk into places, just naturally, I'm very confident. I never shy away from just being who I am when I walk somewhere or go somewhere. Some people have referred to me as arrogant. I don't believe that. I just think when I walk into a room, I just am who I am. I don't walk around acting like I'm any better than anybody else, but I definitely walk with an air of confidence.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of anything or anyone when I walk into a place.
Well, I think you're very comfortable being you.
I am.
Yeah, I think that's great.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
And
that's very intimidating to people.
I think so, maybe, but it's funny how certain people who don't know me from Adam, man, assume that I'm somebody. I mean, I could be, who knows what I could be? But because of the way that I've carried myself and I've throughout my life, that's when you talk about like, have I used it to my advantage? I don't. The only thing I've used to my advantage is me. I just am who I am. And my ability to get my gift of gab, I think maybe I've used to my advantage because I will say that I am confident in being able to communicate with people. And I think once people get to talking to me, they're like, "Oh, okay, I jive with this dude." And I try to find, like I said, common ground. So it's like I don't come across as salesy. I'm being genuine with people, but I like to talk, which is probably why I'm here. But
it helps.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's that kind of, that is what has helped me. And that's what I use to my advantage when I go places.
I think you probably don't think of it as using because it's who you are. Does that make sense?
Right. No,
for me, it's natural.
Yeah, it's just who you are.
It's just natural.
Yeah. It's just natural. Yeah. And I'll tell you, but it's funny to me because we've had multiple conversations. Like sometimes I'll see some of the gangsters dudes, like cats that you know for a fact are like real triple OGs. So you're like,
Right.
"What's up, OG?" And dap me up, and I got you. You need anything? I got you. And I'm like, "Okay, cool. Nice to meet you, bro." I didn't ask for that. I didn't.
How long has that been going on?
And probably, well, I mean, my lady and I have been dating now for about 7 months. So even before that, people would, wonder. But since she and I started dating, because she's a very beautiful woman,
But okay, yeah,
that helps.
This is true. This
That
is true.
helps.
But I also think uh I think okay, so just let's really quickly, let's do a quick. Can you shout out her Instagram and her
Oh,
whole deal real quick? Just
my
before,
lady, yeah.
yeah, just real quick.
Official Lacrea,
Okay,
at
on Instagram.
official Lacrea, Lakrea. Her name's Lacrea Clark. Lacrea Clark. She's an R&B singer, man. She's something special, man. She's dope.
Okay, so what I was gonna say is when I see pictures of y'all together,
Yeah,
y'all, there's a confidence in both of y'all.
no doubt about. Oh, yeah.
Right, and
Right.
and it feels like a very respected confidence between the two of y'all.
You know what?
You know what I'm saying?
No,
Like,
it's funny you say that.
there's no jealousy or nothing. It's like I guess what Jay-Z and Beyonce would be, or like a power couple would truly be, like Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith before that stuff came out about Will Smith and whatever
Right.
that was.
You hit the
when
nail
you
on the
thought
head.
that when you thought that they were just like y'all are like that, right?
You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah,
Man.
I can feel that. You know?
I can tell you right now, there has been so many people that see us together because she and I have an amazing respect for each other, and the way that we handle ourselves when we're together, like when we're together, when we go out together, we're together. There's not a question. People don't have to wonder whether
Yeah.
it's like they know.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how many people have approached us and said, "Look, I just want to," I like random strangers.
Yeah.
I just want to say, you two inspire me. Like
That's
when
weird, right?
when I look at y'all, I'm like, y'all are what it's supposed to look like. Dudes, women, I mean, you name it, man. One brother was like, he came, walked up to us and said, "Hey, man, I see you and your lady all the time. I always see you, and she is right there. And I see you respecting her, and she respecting you, and it's a beautiful thing. And I don't know y'all, but I aspire to have something like that in my life." And we're just like, wow. And people refer to us as their favorite couple when we go out. Like, there's my favorite couple. And
So-
I think it's awesome.
So
I
really,
do take pride in that.
so really quickly,
Yeah.
How do you attain that? What do you do to attain that with your girlfriend, or what do y'all do to get what is the process that y'all do to attain
You
that?
know, I tell you, there's a certain level of respect that has to come from both of you, and full transparency. Like when we first started hanging out, it was a little bumpy. I did some things that I shouldn't have done, and she was willing to stick with it and work it out with me. And she was a little intimidating for me because of her stature and her status.
Yeah.
Because of, I mean, she's
She
11,000+ followers and R&B singer and all that stuff, and everybody and their mama thinks about how gorgeous she is. So I was very, a little intimidated and insecure at first.
When I was looking at this, I'm not even making this up. The first time I saw a picture, I was like, "Huh, I wonder what R&B singer that is that Len took a picture with at her concert." Like, I didn't know it was your girlfriend. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, "Oh, he's just taking a picture with some singer. Who is that?"
Right.
And then I saw more pictures. I was like, "Oh no, that's his girlfriend."
Yeah.
I mean, that's how intimidating. That's the kind of magnitude that she kind of carries.
And you want to talk about confidence? She instills it in me because she's been on stage in front of thousands, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So she's an entertainer.
Yeah.
So for her, it's nothing.
Yeah.
Bright lights, it's nothing to walk in a crowd. And what's crazy is, if you get a chance to look at her Instagram, she went through an amazing transformation.
Yes, absolutely.
Amazing
that was also
transformation,
really cool.
Which most women would be completely insecure about,
Right.
but not her.
Right.
And it's one of the things that drew me to her is her confidence, and she's such a sweetheart. She's very giving. She's a mother herself. She has a son, shout out Key, who is 11. And she's a single mom. She's been doing it on her own. And I mean,
How old is she?
She just turned 30.
Okay.
So we got a 13-year difference
Yeah,
between
but
us. So,
that's
but
about,
we're both grown.
yeah. I mean,
Uh,
no, I'm saying like it's not the age number kind of doesn't matter a lot. You just kind of have to be in the same phase. You have to be on the same page
and we're
about
on the
stuff,
same mindset.
and you
She
have
and
to
I,
be in the same mindset.
and that's the thing.
Yeah.
She and I are in the same mindset.
Some people are
And
old souls. You know what I mean?
we feed off each other really well, and we support each other. And yeah, she's an awesome woman. So I could talk about her all day. But if you get a chance to listen to her music, please do. She's amazing, and I think that her confidence bleeds into me and mine and her. And she never. It's crazy because she knows when to take the stage, but she also knows when to step back and let me take center stage.
Yeah.
And that's a delicate balance because
It's a dance, bro.
it is, and
Yeah.
not a lot of couples can do that. But our communication is there.
Yeah, you got to communicate.
Got to communicate, brother.
Over communicate.
And
Don't even worry about
and
it.
even when it's bad, and it may not be something you want to hear.
Yep.
You got to communicate it.
Yeah.
And I think that we are working at that. It's not perfect.
No.
Nothing ever is.
And
But
people got some bad habits too.
yeah, exactly.
And they got scars and wounds they got to work through and stuff like that. Like,
and you know, I always used to say, when you first meet somebody in a relationship, you're not meeting them. You're meeting their representative.
I say that all
You're
the
meeting
time.
their
I say that
representative.
all the time. For
You're
the
not meeting who they are.
first 6 months, you're just meeting like you're in the metaverse.
You're meeting the
like
best version of that person.
You're
they
in the
can love.
metaverse. You ain't even gone on a real date yet.
Exactly.
Right. And then you go on a real date, like in a
Right.
real place, and then somebody doesn't get their fries, and then somebody's upset.
Right.
It's like stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Until you get an opportunity to see somebody at their worst, you never know, whether you can handle it.
And the real thing is like you got to find somebody that you're cool with their worst, basically, because there's no guarantee that they won't ever be their worst at any moment.
And
you
are you willing to deal with that?
Yeah. And it's not
And
deal.
support it
It's
and help.
Understand,
And
help, be supportive,
exactly.
right?
Be there for it, because there's some things that are non-negotiables, right?
Yeah.
Like with certain people. But I think that's why I say she and I are stronger, because I made a mistake, and then she's made some slight mistakes here and there, and we've worked through them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you don't have a chance to work through something, you'd never know what's real or not, man. And she and I have been able to do that, so it's been cool, man.
So dad was black, mom was white.
Correct.
Right? Okay.
Correct.
So and you said your dad died when?
My dad died my senior year of high school.
Okay. Did y'all live in the same home? Were your parents?
I found him. I was the one who found him dead.
Oh wow. So he committed suicide?
Nope, he had a heart attack.
Oh dang.
Yeah, and I had come home from school basically, and he was in the bathroom, and I tried to open the door and it wouldn't open. And at first I thought like somebody was trying to keep me out.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of was like startled a little bit. So I happened to look in the vanity mirror, because I had an angle where I could see the vanity. And when I looked at the vanity, all I could see like via an angle was his foot.
No way.
He was laid out. And I just started beating the door down, bro. I started punching the hell out of the door. I was so scared. And then I punched a hole just big enough. I still have scars on my hands. I punched a hole just big enough for me to crawl through. And when I got through it, I turned him over, man.
Was he a big guy?
Not a small guy, but I was bigger than him.
Okay.
My dad was probably
it was the way he's blocking the door.
The way it was because his head essentially was lodged. He was laid out flat, and he was limp.
Oh wow.
So there was no, So when I rolled him over, man, he was dead. So, and there was no doubt about it.
Was it hard for your mom and dad being a mixed race couple?
Very.
Did you see a lot of that? Did you get
spurts?
Did you catch a lot of shrapnel of that kind of too?
I caught a lot of that in school.
Right.
I caught a lot of that in school. Not so much from adults who would have something to say or impose some sort of judgment, but when I was in school, there was no doubt about it, man. Especially more middle school, the younger age. High school was a little different, but middle school and stuff like that, I definitely got some people that would try to bully me on that idea that my mom was white and that my dad was black, and people would talk noise, and I'd get it from both sides, and it was definitely something that as a kid I had to work through.
How did they keep their relationship to get so like no, it's like like a relationship's hard enough,
right?
Then you add in a kid, right. Then you add in the fact you're a mixed race couple, right. Then you add in the fact you're living, this is probably in the 70s, right?
What them together?
Yeah.
Before me, yeah, they were living together in the 70s.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that ain't good. We're coming out. That ain't good. So
right.
How did they? If from your short perspective, like how did they keep that together?
That's
an interesting. Or what do you think?
Well, here's the thing. The reality is that they didn't.
Well,
right?
because
they were in a I lived in a broken home, brother.
it's because it's
Like,
hard.
I lived in a broken home. My parents, most of my life, slept in separate rooms. And that, like I said, that's a whole long story.
Was that?
But
let me
short story. Yeah, go ahead.
just really quickly.
Yeah.
So, me and my girlfriend sleep in separate rooms.
Yeah.
Was that weird for you as a kid to have your parents sleep in separate, or is it all you knew?
It was weird at first because at first when I was younger they didn't.
So you knew them sleeping in the same room.
I knew something was off.
It's not just the way you grew up.
No.
Okay.
I knew something was off.
Okay. All right, guys. So we're back, and we were chatting on the break how Len tried to whisper to me that needed to go to the bathroom, but whispered right into the mic.
So lame. Rookie.
Oh, okay. So where were we at? We
were talking about just basically growing up and
yeah. Oh, yeah. So
my parents living in separate rooms, and
So was there any kind of shift like once your dad passed to being raised by your mom? Like, did that make things?
Well, there wasn't really being raised by my mom at that point.
Really?
Yeah, it was more so I took on the like the dad, like the man of the house role.
Yeah.
It was just one of those things where I knew my mother was devastated, and
is your mom still alive?
She is, man. I'm adopted, so that's saying something.
Did she get past it?
Oh yeah. I mean, she never remarried or anything like that, but yeah, she got my mother will be 89 in March 14th, bro.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm adopted. So like I said, my story is long.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting one, and everybody used to tell me I should be on Oprah.
No, wait, back up real quickly.
Yeah.
So, a white lady and a black man adopted you? Is there a short version of that? I mean, I feel like
there is.
I feel like
I'll give the fastest version I can.
That's a worthy question, right?
It is. So because it's actually not what you said. So my mother and father met, got married. He was in the military. Okay. I'm giving you the fast version.
Okay, I'll
get to it.
So your mom and dad.
Yep.
So your mom and dad,
I know as my mother and my father.
Okay.
Got married.
Got it.
Right. My father was in the military.
Okay.
While in the military, he did a temporary tour of duty.
Okay.
While he was on that temporary tour of duty, he decided to engage in basically adultery and infidelity and had sex with a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And when he got back from that temporary tour of duty, he was back with my mom. And this is in North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
The phone rings one day. My mother picks up the phone. It's a lady saying, "Hey, I'm looking for Len or Leonard." And she's like, "Well, this is his wife. Can I help you?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm pregnant with Leonard's baby, and I need to figure out what he wants to do."
Okay. Keep going. I have questions, but keep going.
You'll have questions. Right. But I know you will. Everyone always does when I tell the story. And so she says, I need to know what he wants to do because I'm either going to have this baby aborted.
Wow.
Or put in an orphanage. And for lack of a better word on your podcast, I can't take a half black baby, and that was not the word she used, back to my family and it be accepted.
Wow.
So who I know as my mother confronted my father about it. And of course he played the the role of like, I don't know what you're talking about, blah, 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 blah. And my mother basically said, "You know what? Screw both of you. I'm going to adopt this baby."
Okay. So, but your birth mother is white as well.
My birth mother is white, yes.
Okay. So
I am black and white.
Yes.
Truly.
But just not
with my mother, who I know as my mother.
Yeah.
That's not my birth mother.
She just happens to be white.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow, that's wild, bro.
Real wild.
And so she adopted you.
So my mother adopted me from birth and stayed with my father so that I would have a father figure in the home.
Wow.
Yeah.
A strong lady.
One of the strongest women I'll ever meet and ever know.
Hey, and real interestingly enough, a similar scenario happened inside my family.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I won't, if any of my family listens to that, I don't have to name it. They know who everybody is. But you know, like, I mean, I just think these situations that feel maybe in moments like no one's going through the same thing. I mean, A
You'd
lot
be
of
surprised how common it is,
yeah,
actually.
and a lot of people are experiencing
No doubt
similar
about it.
things.
No
You know
doubt
what I mean?
about it. Many women have taken care of other people's children, and many men have taken care of other women's, children as well. So I respect the hell out of my mother, and she's not perfect, and she has her flaws. But you know what? She did something that is very difficult, and I will always have the utmost respect for her, no matter what. So shout out to Ruth Rouse.
Shout out Ruth.
Yeah, she's 89, March 14th, man. So
So
she's
yeah,
still kicking and screaming.
maybe we can release this on her birthday.
That'd be cool.
I'll look into it.
That'd be cool.
I'll look and see.
That'd be cool. That would be cool for her to see.
Would she watch it and
Oh,
stuff?
without question. Yeah. She's a cool lady. She might not understand everything we're talking about, but she's
Would she be on the TV? Did he just call my baby Asian? Would she get mad?
I don't think she would say that per se, but she would definitely be like, "You're not Asian," but no,
hey, we'll see what we can do.
Yeah,
I mean, now
that'd be cool. But either way,
I've already put it.
She'll watch it regardless. You put it in. You put an atmosphere.
I've already put it out there, so I'm probably gonna have to.
You put it out there.
So usually, like how I like to wrap up this thing is, I usually ask people like, kind of, what are you doing to create balance in your life? And and we kind of talked about it a little before, and we talked about it kind of this whole night, But like, so just what are the things like, so obviously you start taking your health seriously.
Without question.
Right. So what are the other things that you do to help create balance in your life?
Man, I think for me, stress relief is a big thing. And my best advice would be do what makes you happy. Whether that's going to the park, listening to music, for me, it's working out. It's, when I can spend time with my daughter, hanging out with LaCria and her son, LaCria and I having a social life.
Making time for that. Right.
Work-life balance.
Right.
A lot of people at our age are so career-minded, which there's nothing wrong with, but they get so wrapped up in I got to be this and make this and do this and constantly chasing the bag.
You can do both, right?
You can. And that's the reality of it is you can, because you just have to make time.
So let me, a quick question.
Yeah.
So if anybody knows the sales manager business of a gym,
yeah,
it's very much chase the bag.
It's all about the bag.
Right. So do you
even my role now, it's like many of the people in the same role that I'm in, it's still about the bag.
So let me ask you this. Do you think that with age that your mentality got different around that? Because I remember feeling like, man, it's a hard life for those sales managers trying to sell these memberships and stuff like that. And so I would assume that you kind of stopped racing. You started kind of like balancing it more, and more of it kind of came to you. You get these promotions and things like that, right?
At the end of the day, I learned how to work smarter and not harder.
Right.
I learned how to become more efficient with my time. I learned how to the phrase I like to use is efficient and effective,
right,
and have instant impact when I'm doing my work, and creating. One of the things and that I'll always show love to my ex-wife for was, and we never got into that.
Yeah,
but
I mean, wow,
that's a whole nother podcast too. But she was a planner, big planner, and she taught me how to be organized, and she helped me with realizing that, you can get all of the stuff on that laundry list of things done, learning how to prioritize them, writing things down, and making time to enjoy yourself and still get those things done. And for the longest time, I was chasing my tail. I felt like I was in that fucking hamster wheel. And when I learned how to do that and do it for myself, although, she and I couldn't be together anymore, it was one of those situations where I took that with me, and it has helped me over the last several years get to the point to where I can now relax a little bit more. I mean, that doesn't mean that the stressors of life go away, but I've learned how to cope, and I've learned that not everything has to be a giant fire.
Right.
Right? When you're younger, everything is this giant bonfire that you have to try and put out. It's not true.
Yeah. There's few. There's actually
very few bonfires.
Yeah.
And don't sweat the dumb shit.
Yeah.
Right? And don't get wrapped up into the hype. Don't get wrapped up into the hype. Do what makes you happy. do what makes you feel good, treat people good, the people you love, the people you care for, be there for them, enjoy their time. You know, if anything, you know, we say it all the time, but life is super fragile. And I know and believe that it is. So I spend it doing what I feel good doing, man. And I could give two shits about what anybody else has to say about it. And in this world of social media and all this stuff where you're constantly being scrutinized and looking for likes and you feel like you're being judged, and all these people find their worth in that. And I'm one of those people who don't. Well, yeah, I have Instagram, and yeah, I'm sure everybody likes to be liked.
Everybody
right?
likes posting pictures.
Yeah, I mean, everybody likes to be liked, but at the end of the day, it doesn't define who I am.
Let me ask you this: Do you? I mean, I roughly know how many likes I get on a picture, but like, do you ever really kind of pay attention to it, or you just kind of post a picture and you're just kind of like, oh, I got some likes?
I'll be honest. It depends on the picture. I'll be honest, because there's some where I'll put it out there, bro, and I'll be like, man, it'd be nice if. Like, I really like this picture. It'd be cool if, and here's the thing, I don't have like a public account. Mine is private, so it's not like for everyone to see.
Yeah.
So, but the people that I do have on there, you know, there's some certain pictures where I'm like, man, it'd be nice to get a little affirmation that I did something well, or like I look right, or that this was a good thing. But at the end of the day, I don't spend my time like waiting for the next like and oh my God, each hour on hour. I got shit to do, bro. I don't have time for that. You know what I mean? It's cool. And for me, it's more like I like to look at other people's stuff. I like seeing what people put out there. And it's a new world for me. Like LaCria, my girlfriend, will tell you, like, I'm the most socially, like, as far as social media goes, I'm about as what's the word? Challenged as it gets. Snapchat, all that stuff, bro. She's had to teach me all. I don't know none of that, man. I'm the old school dude that wants to pick up a phone and call you, come sit with you and talk.
That's why we're doing this.
You know, I'm that kind of cat, man. I don't. All that other stuff is not. You know, I get its place. It has its place, even for business. You know, I've had to adapt with business because you have to have a social media presence with your business.
So crazy, right?
Right. But it's just the way of the world, and you either evolve or you get left behind. So I get that part, but at the end of the day, it doesn't define me.
Yeah, I
am who I am. I'm gonna always be me, and I think. When you talk about what am I doing to find that balance, I'm just going to do me, and that I think that's the easiest way to put
it. I would guess that you are putting in your mind the best version of yourself forward that you can.
I'm trying.
You're trying.
And what's crazy is I don't even know that this is it.
Yeah.
I'm
well, hoping, I mean, it shouldn't be it.
I'm hoping there's more. I'm hoping there's more in here.
You want to evolve.
I don't want this to be the best. I just want it to be on my road to the best, but I try to be the best version that I can and learn from my mistakes, and try to just keep moving forward, man. And I think that time, experiences in life, people you meet, come across, like it all changes you. And I think if you can remember who you are inside and still manage to adapt to the world around you, I think that's how you become the best version of yourself, because you're going to have to evolve to some degree, but the core of who you are needs to stay the same. I think that to me is the best way to put that.
Well, and I think something that you're really good at that you could kind of toss in there is like, hey, go be a human with other humans. Like go interact with humans.
Why not? Yeah.
I mean, like, do you know I have the most interesting like bank of memories from just talking to Uber drivers. I mean,
what?
Just like, yeah.
Right?
Who
hasn't met an Uber driver that hasn't told them a fucking wild ass story?
But you got to talk to them.
And you still, but it's just, you're like,
but I mean,
even if you don't want to hear it, you're just like, damn, that really, wow.
Well, sometimes you just get stories. You don't even ask. You don't have to ask for nothing. You just get them. But yeah, but like, I got this recipe.
No shit.
I might have told this before, so I'll do it just really quick. We took this Uber at A&M, and I got this recipe from this lady for alcoholic soaked like gummy bears.
Okay.
But she was very specific about the gummy bears and the alcohol. It had to be Ciroc. It had to be Ciroc.
Okay.
And you have to use the white bag gummy bears from Walmart. because they absorb better. Like, they don't blow up real big.
She's done her research.
No. She had a whole thing, and I was like, if we would have never talked to her,
we would
never would have got this recipe. You know, we would have never got this recipe. I mean, you just don't know what's out there,
bro.
And it's better than the internet. You can look stuff on the internet, but those people's opinions suck.
Bro.
Find somebody out in the real world who has an opinion,
bro.
You know,
find somebody that doesn't have an agenda.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Yeah,
find somebody that doesn't have an agenda.
Yeah, that lady.
Everybody's got a fucking agenda. You find somebody that doesn't have an agenda and just wants to talk, you're gonna learn some shit.
I think how we got in that conversation was the ladies, like we went to an A&M football game. And of course we drank at the football game. She's like, y'all been drinking, blah, blah, whatever. And I think my buddy was like drinking vodka, and she goes, my grandson got into our Ciroc gummy bears. And I was like, what's a Ciroc gummy bear? I didn't know what she was talking about. I know she was talking about the alcohol.
Right.
I thought it was like some sort of candy or something.
Right.
I don't know.
Well,
so
it is.
Well, yeah. But then she explained it, and I was like, ooh, when he got into that, like at the end of the story, I was like, wow, how many of those did he eat? Knock him out?
Oh, wow.
How many does it take?
I bet it was a good time.
How much for how many for a 1-year-old?
Next time I'm here, I'm going to bring some damn gummy bears.
Yeah, I'm not. If I go to Walmart and they don't have white bags, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
You're going to fuck it up. Don't ruin the recipe, bro.
Yeah.
Don't ruin the recipe.
But I mean, you know, I think, I mean, I would say, you can correct me if I'm wrong. When we met, you didn't have this balance.
No.
Right?
No. I was in a whirlwind of
everything.
Life, brother.
Yeah.
Yes.
But we
my God.
we all were.
Yeah. I was, oh man.
Oh, to be young.
That was, yes, that was some, you know, while I had been through some things, I felt like I'm not going to say I thought I had my shit together, because I didn't, but I definitely thought that I was further along than I was. And the arrogance of being young will do that to you. And I have now found that, you know, something my daddy used to tell me is holding true. And I don't think it'll ever fail, is that you have to be really young and dumb before you can ever be old and wise.
Right.
And I'm finding that even to this day, I'm finding that out. And back then when we first met, man, I'll tell you, my life was definitely different. And but I also don't regret it. I don't regret anything that I've been through. I feel like it's helped me become this version of who I am today. And I think the things that I'm doing today will help me become the next version. And so, yeah, no regrets. And could I change, you know, wish I could change some things that I've done in my past? Sure, I think everyone does, but you live, you learn, and you keep it moving, bro.
Well, just relax, Dad, because that's what your daughter's doing right now.
Without question. Look.
So just relax. Everything's going to be fine.
You know what? The fact that
it's harder on you than it is on her, probably.
Exactly. And the fact that she was even willing to tell me that, I think that, you know, I had to give myself a little pat on the back, in the sense that all I could ask for is that she talk to me. That's all I could ask for, man.
You won.
Yeah, all I could ask is that she talks to me.
Prize,
it's a small win, and like I said, it's not about me though.
Yeah.
And when you as a father, you're gonna find out it ain't about you.
I know.
It ain't about you.
It's all.
It ain't about you.
Yeah.
It's about them, and you feeding them the same knowledge and experiences that you've had, and many of those they're gonna have to find out for themselves. They're gonna listen to you, and they're gonna say, "Oh, I got it, I understand," and then they're gonna still go do the shit anyway.
Yeah.
But that's just part of being human, man. And we're inquisitive people, and I think that no matter who you are, it's just part of what you deal with, and you just take it in stride and just try to be there for her. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I'm trying to do. So while I've heard some shocking things and things that made me raise a couple of eyebrows and shake my head a little bit, but at the same time, I'm like, at the same time,
nothing you don't know.
You know what? At the end of the day, when I think back to some of the shit that I've done, I'm like, can't say that I blame her. You know?
Well, you know, I'm not saying I'm challenging.
I'd be a hypocrite at that point.
Look, Lucy, when you listen back to this, like years from now, like when your dad's like old or I don't know, whatever, I'm not challenging you to go out and do shit. But like, try to shock me, something that I haven't seen or done.
Right.
For the most part, unless it's just like a murder or something really wild out there. But I mean, for the most part, I've lived a pretty full life. So like, there's not probably much that are, and then like everything's on the internet, everything's on TV. I mean, we're seeing all this. So like, let's just have a real conversation,
Right. And Lucy, I'll tell you, your dad's an awesome cat. So when you do look back at this.
So just like a time capsule.
Nah, he's just like one of my favorite people, man. That's why I was so excited to come hang out with you, because I remember you and I doing this for hours on end, just hanging out at the gym, man. Like
But
just
bro,
chopping it up.
I can talk.
Oh, I know, and that's
I
what I
mean-
loved about you. That's why we fed off each other, and we had a lot of common interests. And
Let me ask you a really quick question
for
before we go.
yeah,
Would you say that you've become a lot better listener?
yes,
Like, so the Len that I met at you were a listener.
not a good one,
Like it was like, what's that scene in White Man Can't Jump where he's like, you can hear Jimmy,
right?
you can listen,
listen to Jimmy, but you can't hear
Jimmy.
Yep.
It was kind of like that. Like
Yep. Nope.
you could listen to people, but you didn't
Yep.
hear them. And as you get older and build that kind of patience, stuff like that, you know, is that fair to say?
I would say, am I better? Yeah. Am I
Perfect? No.
there? No.
No.
I the one thing I've learned to be is honest with myself.
About what you are and what
about
you're not.
what I'm good at and what I'm not.
Dropping that ego.
That is huge. Being humble, you know, and understanding that a smart man knows he knows nothing, right?
Right.
And I tell myself I'm a better listener because I tried to practice being a better listener. And I think that if I really had to break it down, I'm a slightly better listener, but more importantly, I'm actually a much better communicator.
Well, but to be a good communicator, you
Yeah.
have to be a good listener.
I think
that's
that's
also part of it.
Right. I think that's if as far as evolution goes, I think I've become a much better communicator when it comes to things that bug me or things that I'm not happy about. Though that's where I think I've made huge strides. But I do think like you said, listening's a part of that. But because I'm such a talker, people that are not talkers will say, man, he talks a lot.
But you got to play offense and defense. Nobody's Allen Iverson fucking
Right.
winning championships. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So I catch myself trying to listen and seek to be, seek to understand before being understood.
Right.
I think that's the main thing that I try to do.
Well, that's called being a really good listener,
Yeah.
bro. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, you're a good listener.
thanks.
Give yourself some credit.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So did you have a good time?
Man, I had an amazing time, dude.
You could do this a couple of more hours, huh?
Bro, we could be here
Yeah.
until 6 a.m. because
And-
we didn't even dive into none of it.
Part of it is that nobody wants to stick around that long,
right, and nobody wants to hear my ass talk that long.
Yeah,
anyway. They don't
but
even
for
know
us,
my
it's
ass.
great. You know what I mean? You know what I
we're
mean?
just catching up.
But we're just trying to give you a small snippet of what would happen if we were just like sitting down. So
exactly.
Well,
And
man, when you're
it's
getting
been
out of here,
great.
let's get you a hug on the way out.
Of course,
bro.
brother.
Oh, you can slip that back, dude.
It's all good, man.
Diving around.
Love you, brother.
Thank you, man. Thank you for doing this.
Oh, thank you. It's been a blast.
Yeah.
I love you.